Hello students, once again. So in the last 3 videos, I hope you're all clear with the chapters or with the things which I have been explaining, okay? And in the third session, we will be discussing about the common respiratory disease, and I hope you're clear. We have been discussing about your asthma and your bronchitis. So today we will be discussing about pneumonia. Okay, so this pneumonia, they are mainly caused because of the inflammation of the lung tissue. Okay, they are mainly caused because of the inflammation of your lung tissues. Okay, so what will happen is that this inflammation, they will lead to the part of your body become red, swollen, hot and painful. So the main symptoms of pneumonia will include your cough, chest pain while breathing or coughing. Okay, you will have fatigue, you will have fever, you will have nausea, that is you feel like and also you'll have the shortness of breath. Okay, so what are the causes of pneumonia? Pneumonia is caused by germs. Okay, they are caused by germs that include your bacteria and virus. Okay, so pneumonia will be caused by germs that will include your bacteria and virus. Okay, that is the air that we breathe. Normally the immune system in our body prevents these germs from infecting the respiratory system. Okay, our immune system are made in such a way that they prevent this type of germs like your bacteria and virus from infecting a respiratory system. But sometimes what happens is that the germs become more powerful, so they tend to come inside our body and infect the respiratory system. And how can we prevent pneumonia is that first one is that flu is the common cause of pneumonia. Okay, so we should always get an injection of flu every year to prevent seasonal influenza. Okay, and remember this, the second one is very important, is that we should wash our hands frequently, especially when we go to washroom, after going to washroom, and also after and before eating your food. And also we should smoking. Okay, we should avoid smoking because they reduces immunity in our body that will be able to fight against infection. Okay, because when we smoke, they reduce the immunity of our body and they damage our lungs. They damage the ability of our lungs that will able to fight against the infections. Okay, so smokers or person who smoke, they are of higher risks to suffer from pneumonia. And as I have told you that a healthy diet, rest and regular exercise is very necessary to prevent ourselves from getting ill, especially from virus and bacteria. The fourth one to have is your tuberculosis. This tuberculosis, they affect the lungs, and it is a bacterial disease. It is caused by a bacteria. Okay, so this tuberculosis is it affects our lungs. Okay, that is caused by a bacteria disease which spreads from when a person that is being suffering from tuberculosis will start sneezing, coughing, okay, when they talk, laugh, and also when they spit. Okay, and this tuberculosis can mainly transfer from one person to another, okay, by the droplets. So if I suffer from a tuberculosis and if I sneeze or cough or talk in front of my friends, there'll be a release of tiny type of droplets. So my friend will likely to get that tuberculosis because when I talk or when I cough, the tiny droplets is being released out. Okay, so these tiny droplets of mucus or saliva, they are being passed into the air, which will be inspired or inhaled by another person. So as I have told you that if I've been suffering from tuberculosis, so if I talk or cough in front of my friend, so the tiny droplets will get released. Okay, and then it will pass in the air, okay, with the help of the air. And so when the person when my friend start inhaling, or we can say inspired that air, okay, they will likely suffer from tuberculosis. So what are the symptoms? First, the symptoms will have, a person will have coughing, they'll have fatigue, they'll have fever, chills, Loss of weight, loss of appetite, sweating at night are a few symptoms of your tuberculosis. So how can we prevent them? Okay, so we should wear a mask and covering our mouth at public places, which helps in the risk of the transmission of a disease. Okay, we should avoid spending time with anyone who is suffering from tuberculosis in an enclosed and stuffy room. So if you are in a closed room, you should avoid yourself spending time with a person suffering from tuberculosis. Okay, and also because what happened is that the germs of tuberculosis, they spread in a small closed spaces. So if is in the outside, okay, if the outside weather it's not too cold, then we should switch on the fan or open the windows to blow the inside air outside. So if I'm staying with a friend who is suffering from tuberculosis, so what will I do is that I should switch on the fan or open the window so that the air that my friend is breathing out, okay, so it can be blown out in outside. Okay, so I think you're clear with the common respiratory diseases, and I have finished the chapter on your respiratory system. So we will be discussing the exercises that is present in your textbook. Now let's move on to the first checkpoint, that is page 73. Okay, so the first one is right. The process of respiration takes place partially in the mitochondria and partially in the cytoplasm. You write here true. Next, pleural fluid helps to keep the lungs moist and facilitate easy diffusion of gases. You write here true. The lungs contain millions of minute bronchi. You write false. It contains a minute of alveoli, right? Now the next one, the carbinohemoglobin reaches into every cell of the body through circulatory system. You write here false. The oxygen-rich blood reaches the alveoli in the lungs where oxygen gas is exhaled. You write here false. Let's move to the next checkpoint, that is page 76. Okay, number 1, asthma is a respiratory disease caused due to allergy. Then the next one, bronchial tubes are the airways that connect trachea to the lungs. B-R-O-N-C-H-I-A-L, bronchial, T-U-B-E-S, bronchial tubes. The next one, third one, flu is a common cause of pneumonia. P-N-E-U-M-O-N-I-A, pneumonia. Then number 4, tuberculosis passes from one person to another by droplets. D-R-O-P-L-E-T-S, droplets. Number 5, smokers are considered at a higher risk of pneumonia. Now let's move on to the next multiple choice question. Okay, now turn to page 77. So the first one, which of the following forms of carbohydrates is broken down during respiration? You write down here number C, glucose. Next one, what is the normal range of breathing rate in an adult? You write here B, 15 to 18 minutes. Number 3, which of the following is a byproduct of anaerobic respiration? You write number D, ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. Number 4, during inspiration, diaphragm, right, number A, moves down. Number 5, which of the following is not the part of the respiratory system? You write here number D, esophagus. Okay, next one, give one word of the following. Number 1, mechanical process of respiration. You write here external respiration. E-X-T-E-R-N-A-L, external, R-E-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N, external respiration. Number 2, you write type of respiration where glucose is not completely oxidized. You write here anaerobic respiration. A-N-A-E-R-O-B-I-C, anaerobic. I hope you know respiration spelling. Next one, other name for windpipe. You write here trachea, T-R-A-C-H-E-A. Then the next one, hemoglobin that combines with the diffused oxygen. You write here oxyhemoglobin, O-X-Y-H-A-E-M-O-G-L-O-B-I-N. The next one, the process where carbon dioxide is taken in while oxygen is given out, it is photosynthesis. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one, fill in the blanks. Human lungs are covered by a double membrane called pleural membrane. P-L-E-U-R-A-L, pleural, M-E-M-B-R-A-N-E, pleural membrane. Then the next one, 2, oxygen combines with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin, O-X-Y-H-A-E-M-O-G-L-O-B-I-N. Number 3, More energy is released in aerobic respiration. Aerobic, aerobic respiration. Number fourth one, carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin and carbinohemoglobin is formed. Okay, carbon dioxide. The fifth one, glucose plus oxygen 6O2 gives carbon dioxide, water and energy. Let's move to the next. The other one is match the column. So ethyl alcohol, you match it with aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration. Inspiration, you mark it with breathing. Larynx, you mark it with voice box. Bronchioles, you mark it with lungs. And bronchitis, you mark it with viral infection. Okay. Now let's number E, see the given picture and answer the following question. Okay, so here you have a lime water. Okay, so I hope you can answer this by yourself. It is very easy. Okay, so I want you to do E by yourself. Next one, F. Let's go. What is respiration? You turn this to page 67. So you turn to page 67. I hope you can see the heading here, respiration. So here it has been, you mark here, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth line. Okay, respiration is the process of releasing energy by breaking down of food for life activities. This is your answer for question number 1. Now next, what are the byproducts of aerobic respiration? You write down here carbon dioxide, water and energy. I just wrote here in their short form. If you want, you can write down the full spelling. Okay, CO2 plus H2O and energy. Next one, what is breathing? Name its two phases. So you turn to page 71. So under the heading breathing, you will find under the heading of breathing, okay, you will find here, go to the second paragraph, the process by which air rich in oxygen is taken inside the body of an organism and air rich in carbon dioxide is expelled from the body is called breathing. Okay, and the two phases are inhalation and exhalation. So you mark from the question, the two phases are, then you write here inhalation and exhalation. Next, what are the effects of increased physical activity on breathing? You turn, okay, so first you mark from the question, the effects of increased physical activity on breathing is that it, you write is that it, and you turn to page 71. Okay, you have, I think you can find here in the heading breathing rate. Okay, it increases breathing rate. You write it in, okay, you start from it, then you mark here increases breathing rate. Okay, you write increases first and then write breathing rate, and instead of hence you cut the hence and you write and more oxygen is supplied to the body cells. I'll repeat, it is that it you wrote, right? So you write it increases breathing rate and more oxygen is supplied to the body cells. Let's start the next one. The next one is write an equation representing anaerobic respiration. For this you turn to page 68. Turn to page 68. You have seen here the heading anaerobic respiration, right? So we have to write the chemical reaction. So you start with glucose gives you ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, so you write down this formula and at the same time you write down the names given here below. Okay, so you write this. Next one, name the breathing organs in human body. For this you turn to page 69. Okay, before you turn to page 69, you mark from the question the breathing organs in human body and then you write here are. Okay, and then you turn to page 69. I think you can see under the heading of respiratory system in human beings, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth line, okay, you start here are nose, nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi and bronchioles, alveolar sacs and alveoli. You write up to here. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, G, short answer type question. Describe the two different types of respiration. For this you turn to page 68. Okay, in the page 68, have you seen these types of respiration? So first you write number 1. Number 1 is an aerobic respiration. Most of the higher animals respire through aerobic respiration. This type of respiration results in the breakdown of glucose molecules in the presence of oxygen. It results in the formation of carbon dioxide, water, and 38 ATP molecules. You write up to here. Okay, then you come to anaerobic respiration. You start from here. Most of the lower organisms such as bacteria and fungi shows anaerobic respiration. This type of respiration leads to the breakdown of glucose molecules in the absence of oxygen. Incomplete oxidation of food material leads to the formation of ethyl alcohol. You write up to here. Okay, so first one you write this one, and second one you write this one. Next one you have is, our bodies fulfill the additional energy requirement during vigorous exercise. How? Okay, for this one I'm giving you my own notes. Write down during vigorous exercise, okay, vigorous, vigorous exercise, the breathing rate and volume of each breath increases to bring more oxygen in the body and remove the carbon dioxide produced. So I'll repeat again. During vigorous exercise, the breathing rate and volume of each breath increases to bring more oxygen in the body and remove the carbon dioxide produced. Okay, this is your answer. Next one to have is differentiate between the following. Number A, it is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. You turn to page 69. So I think you can see table 5.1, difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Number 1, you write it takes place in the presence of oxygen. And here you write the first point, it takes place in the absence of oxygen. Write the second point, it leads to complete oxidation of food. Then here write the second point, it leads to incomplete oxidation of food. Then the third one you write it occurs in cytoplasm and mitochondria. And here you write it occurs in cytoplasm. So you just write point number 1, 2, 3. That will do, okay, from both the side. Next one, you write respiration and breathing. You turn this to page 73. So for this, you write point number 1, 3, and 4 for both the side, okay. Point number 1, it is a complex biochemical reaction that involves a series of reactions that are controlled by different enzymes. And this side, you write it is a chemical process that involves inhalation and exhalation. It is not controlled by enzymes. Number 3, you write energy is released in the form of ATP molecules. And here you write no release of energy takes place. And 4, you write oxidation of glucose takes place. And then here you write exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. Okay, so these are the points. You write 3 points for respiration and breathing. Okay, next one, to explain the composition of inhale and exhale air with the help of a bar graph. For this, you turn to page 71. Okay, you turn this to page 71 for number 4. I hope you can see composition of inhale and exhale air under page 71. You write from the bar graph, it is clear that exhale air has more concentration of carbon dioxide than the inhaled air. And then you draw this bar graph, okay. Next one you have is write a short note on tuberculosis. You turn to page 75 and 76. Okay, in here you write as introduction. Okay, first you write introduction. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that usually affects the lungs. It is a bacterial disease which spreads when a person suffering from tuberculosis sneezes, coughs, talks, laughs, or spits. Now then you write causes. Okay, the bacterial infection passes from one person to another by droplets. Then you turn to page 76. Then you write down here symptoms. Coughing, fatigue, fever, chills, loss of weight, loss of appetite, sweating at night are the few symptoms of tuberculosis. Okay, you write up to here. Okay, from H we will do only question number 3, 4, and 6. Okay, because number 1 we have already given the names, so we do not need to describe. Okay, and explain the process of respiration also we have already done in terms of your aerobic and anaerobic respiration. In terms of your question number 4, we have explained everything in detail, so we'll skip number 1 and 2. Okay, now we'll move on to number 3, explain the mechanism of breathing in human beings. For this you turn to page 72 and 73. Now you have seen the mechanism of breathing heading in page 71. Okay, now you mark from here. The process of breathing takes place in our lungs. The air passes through nasal passage and windpipe and reaches our lungs. You write up to here. Okay, And then you turn to page 72. Then you mark from here again. Breathing involves the movement of the rib cage and the diaphragm. Okay. So the process of breathing includes inspiration or inhalation. No need to write this down. And expiration or exhalation. No need to write this down. Okay, just write the process of breathing includes inspiration or inhalation and expiration or exhalation. Now we'll move on to inspiration. You write, when we take in air, the muscles of our ribs stretch and move upwards. At the same time, the diaphragm moves down and becomes flat due to contraction. Okay, and you write down, and you also write, this results in the increase of the volume of chest cavity and decrease in air pressure. Okay. Now you move on to expiration. You write down, when air is given out, the ribcage muscles contract, pulling the rib downwards and inwards, releasing the diaphragm in upward position. This decreases the volume of the chest cavity and increases the air pressure in it. Okay, so I hope you understand till where you have to write. Then under draw number 4, draw a well-labeled diagram of human respiratory system. You turn this to page 69. You turn this to page 69. You have seen figure 5.1, the respiratory system in humans. You have to draw this and then you label them. Okay, label them properly, and I want you to label with pencils. Next one, differentiate between chronic bronchitis and asthma on the basis of causes, symptoms, and prevention. You turn to page 74. To start, asthma is a respiratory disease. Okay, turn to page 74. So page 74, so you turn here, asthma. Asthma is a respiratory disease caused due to allergy. Okay, the respiratory passage becomes swollen and constricted. Now you write symptoms. The person suffering from asthma complains difficulty in breathing and wheezing. Okay, then you go to the next line, the second line. Some common symptoms of asthma include coughing, especially at night, wheezing, shortness of breath, and chest tightness, pain or pressure, up to here. Okay, and then you write causes. Asthma occurs due to the inhalation of allergens such as dust, molds, hairspray, etc. Okay, and in prevention, we'll write only 2 points. You put the heading as prevention. Don't forget to put headings, okay, like this. And then you put your prevention. Then you write minimizing the exposure to allergens. Then you write point number 2, minimizing the exposure to all types of smoke. Avoid going to public places that permit smoking. Okay, up to point number 2. Now we'll move on to bronchitis. You turn to page, the same page only. You'll see a bronchitis. So you start, bronchitis is the swelling of the lining of bronchial tubes. Okay, then you start from the second line. From here, the swelling of the lining makes harder for the air to pass in and out of the lungs, up to here. Okay, and symptoms you write here. Cough is the most common symptom seen in people suffering from bronchitis. Okay, then you write, beside this, a person suffering from bronchitis also complains headache, chills, mild fever, shortness of breath, wheezing, feeling of tightness in the chest, etc. Okay, don't forget to write the headings. Causes, you write, bronchitis is usually caused by virus. Virus can spread from one person to another by coughing. Then you count 1, 2, 3. The third line you write, smoking and exposure to air pollutants such as chemical fumes, etc. are also under causes of bronchitis. Then you write, next you write prevention. Under prevention you write, wash your hands to prevent the spread of germs. Okay, and then you write point number 2, avoid smoking. A non-smoker should avoid being around the smokers as this smoke is more susceptible to viral infection. You write up to here. Okay, so I want every one of you to copy down in your biology copy. Okay,